All right, guys, listen. I'm not going to watch the first hour and 7 minutes of this conversation where, XQC comes in and asks Destiny for advice, and then Adam Ross and Cuff Him comes into the conversation, and then they start talking about A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, and whatever. They have an argument or a conversation to it. People are like, well, there's context that you need. I don't need an hour and 7. Let me tell you something. We are all in this chat reasonably educated individuals. I'm sure that we could get the context just by watching because we're smart, okay? Doubt we need an hour and 7 minutes, okay? We don't need to do that. So we're going to start here when Sneako comes in, our favorite little red pill lol cow. All right? I'm looking for it. I heard this is an exciting conversation. It gets a little spicy. I love a little bit of spice, okay? That's why I love spicy tuna rolls and other delicious Asian sushi because it's an incredible thing, okay? So now let's get started from here.
Than what you would attack people for based on what they've said in the game.
So
this is when supposedly, whatever, when Sneako joins.
Where I draw the line is if you know or you don't know. You're just shooting random bullets. Usually it's gonna find. That's why a lot of times people don't understand, like, oh, dude, don't call people broke. I'm just like,
well, yeah, but I understand what you're saying. Hold on, that's your perspective. His perspective is that, like, well, as long as you're not the actual thing that he's insulting you for, then it's not that big of a deal. That's his perspective. That, like, well, it's not really. I can't be homophobic against you if you're not gay. Like, so well, whatever.
This kind of seems like a weirdly.
Right. It's intention based. That's how I see it.
But even for intent, it's not just intention. It's a difference in application because he'll say that even if the intention, he'll say that the intention is determined by knowing whether or not you're actually gay. Because he's saying that if he knew you were gay, he wouldn't say the word, right? So he's saying that he would.
What, the F slur? Is that the word? I mean, I just disagree with using slurs, especially like online or in like public spaces. You know, just saying that people while in the car to yourself, like, oh, that guy's being a silly goose. You know, I don't think that you need to be saying slurs. It's a very immature conversation. I have no idea why you would need to have it, but okay.
Change the intention, right?
Well, I feel like intention is drawn when you put the pretext behind it. That's why I was saying it. With the preface of like, oh, dude, I see the clip. I whatever, like, you're kissing dudes. I think the intent is drawn
based
on there. Like, am I delusional here or like?
No, what are you talking about? So is it intention or the word? Because
who the fuck is joined, Cut?
Clearly, Cuffham does not hate gay people. So is it the word or the intention?
Well, it sounds like if Cuffham is using the F slur, you don't have to hate gay people to be like insensitive or like homophobic. Like if I went around using the N word like with a hard R, I doubt that he would hold the same mentality. If he did, you'd just be kind of stupid, right? Like using legitimate slurs, it's just disrespectful to people that, you know, would be targeted by that slur in a hateful way. So it's nice to be sensitive to those people. And it's not even that sensitive. Not using a slur isn't exactly the greatest show of empathy in the world. They just don't use a slur. It's not, you know, we're hearing this from Sneako, like a legitimate homophobic individual. So yeah, don't use slur. Like I just think it's interesting online that some people think that this is like, why is this a debate? Why are we having a debate about using the, I'm assuming it's the F slur, because if it was just gay, I say, you know, gay, I'm a silly little goose all the time. I don't think it's just saying the word gay. I don't know why this is a conversation that people are having. I think it's incredibly stupid. It's incredibly immature for every party involved. I don't really understand it, but.
Why do we say clear? There's nothing clear about that. How do we know that?
He just said he doesn't hate gay people.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, it's not
just because you say you don't hate gay people doesn't mean that you don't hate gay people.
Somebody says they don't hate gay people. That means they don't hate gay people. Since when has that ever been the standard by which we determine somebody's like feelings?
This is the grand finale 2024 cuck-off.
Yeah. Well, I'm asking you, XQC. So is it the intention or is it the word? Because where do you draw the line?
The word. I mean, listen, say it in private. I don't really give a shit. But like in public, you should be sensitive to individuals. So.
I think I try to be reasonable about the intention based on what I have in front of me. If I do feel like because intention is impossible to prove, right? And that was about.
Sure. I mean, it's not impossible. I guess it's not like impossible to prove, but you know, it can be difficult to discern sometimes. I guess. Sure.
A court of law, but it's like if you have a general feel, it's what the.
Yeah, it's YouTube. No, I know it's YouTube. I just feel like we should be a little bit more normalized and be like, yeah, this is a stupid debate. Like it's ridiculous. This is on the level of like debating if incest is okay. You know, like this is just dumb.
Like it was. I don't want my community to hear it. I won't be there for it.
Why do you draw the line for the word with your community? But you can call your fans broke. You could say you want to kill Cheezer. You could say.
I think that slurs are probably different from making fun of people for being broke. I don't know. You know, if there was a legitimate slur against broke people, I guess. But okay.
So why is Why did you draw the
That's
line
true.
there?
I don't know, why is like the N word a line drawn? Why do we draw lines at any word? Like it's a word that's been used generally historically to oppress another group of people in like a very deep and intimate and meaningful way. You know, I mean, I think that these guys are regressive when it comes to the R slur. I'm not a big fan of that word. I don't think people that are bad people who use it. I just think that we'd be better not to use that word. It's been used historically to, you know, oppress people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, deny them rights, abuse them sexually, physically, emotionally. You know, so I think that's another. That'd be a nice. Hey, that'd be nice too. But you know, you got to fight the fight slow. But yeah, I mean, it's not like a hot take. You know, and I think we're at a point now where I could say like a lot of my career was built off of edgy humor. So it's not like I'm adverse to edgy humor. I just feel like there's a tasteful way to do it.
That is true.
So okay. So I don't agree with the Caesar thing. I think that was kind of out of pocket. But the other thing, I think one is because is this something that this is like more of a worldview thing, right? Is something that you can change, right? It isn't that people agree that you shouldn't hit somebody on it. Is it like a protected class? Are broke people, or let's say as an insult, even if you don't know this work or not, right? Is that like a marginalized group in that way?
Okay, so you can change being a faggot. Like you can stop doing that.
Okay. So just to be clear, like obviously we've gotten to a point where Sneako is using like the F slur against gay people. Like he's not angry in traffic saying that slur. Listen, it slips out sometimes. And I go, oh, you know, even when I'm alone. You know, that's different. I grew up in like I didn't play Call of Duty. I played Dota, but it's the same. Very online, toxic, edgy days where I would say bad words. I'm not proud of it, but that's how things were. It was accepted. And then you get older and like, oh, this isn't good. What a hot take, right? So I understand people might have a part of their vernacular and it's not good and you shouldn't be saying it. But if you're doing it privately every once in a while, if it slips up, I get it. I get it, though. You know what I mean? Because you might, as a person, not have hate in your heart against gay people when you say the slur. Kind of tough, though, to say that. But maybe let's say you don't. But if you're not sensitive enough to not use it publicly, obviously you don't like gay people. I don't think that's a hot take. You know, but Sneako's calling gay people the F slur. So like he obviously is homophobic. Like you wouldn't. That'd be like if I just sat here and referred to black people as like the hard R, or like the Asian people as like the C word. We'll say, you know, it'd be the exact same thing. So yeah, obviously Sneako doesn't like gay people. He just proved it here. I mean, not that any of us needed proof, as if we couldn't have assumed that. But okay.
Right, you can't. When you cuff him a thug, he can't change his skin color. He's always going to be black.
Wait, okay, hold on.
Who the fuck called him a thug? And I don't think you should be calling black people thugs anyway, unless they are thugs. Okay.
Wait, nothing about thug. Wait,
so
okay, two
many
things. Wait,
assumptions are being made.
Couple things. Wait.
What?
So it's not. So we're using protected class and everything, but usually it's a proxy for like these things probably shouldn't be bad things. So if you make fun of somebody for being broke, right? Usually it's because being broke is a bad thing. Nobody
I guess that's fair.
wants to be broke. Broke people don't want to be broke. If you make fun of somebody for being fat, well, nobody wants to be fat. Like even fat people don't want to be fat.
That's very true, actually.
If you make somebody for being gay, well, the implication is that like being gay must be bad. The same way that being fat or being broke is.
The reason that get offended when you say that word is because they don't actually want to.
So here's the thing. Obviously, Sneako keeps using this slur. It's like a very childish thing. Like what he's trying to do is arouse a reaction out of you. So he says slurs to try to get you to be like, oh my God, this guy. But it's just like disappointing at a certain point. And he won't care that it's disappointing because he has no, like, he's not an adult. He's a boy that's desperate for attention. He's lost a significant amount of his attention. He's got nothing left but to try to be as edgy and shocking as possible. There's nothing particularly intelligent about him. He's just kind of like, he's really just kind of at like the end. And this is his way to lash out and beg for attention from people. And it's like one of those things where like I'm sure that there are people listening to that like, wow, this is so offensive from Sneako. I'm frustrated. I want to engage. I want to go find his Rumble and I want to go comment this. Don't. That's what he wants. It's the only thing that keeps him alive. That's his life support, is being as edgy as possible and as immature as possible and as much of a boy as possible. He's somebody who in less than 10 years' time is going to completely burn out. He's not going to change or mature as he gets older. He's going to pretend that he is, but the facade will fall through very quickly. He's just the shitty person that he is. So it's like, yeah, it's frustrating. But when you realize it's just an attention grab, it's the same thing as Pearl Davis. It's all an attention grab. It's fun to make fun of, but don't engage with it because like there's nothing. You don't need to feel worked up by somebody that nobody respects saying something. Nobody respects Sneako. Nobody takes him seriously. The only people that do is Fresh and Fit. Nobody respects Fresh and Fit. Nobody takes them seriously. This is a very isolated crew desperately trying to latch on and absorb like the last bits of whatever credibility they can get. They don't mean what they say. They just say something and hope that you'll engage with them in some capacity. It's just it's pathetic, childish behavior at the end of the day.
To be
no, the reason they get offended is because they think that other people are loading that word in a really negative way and they're being hateful.
Yeah, they are.
No, it comes from a deep-rooted shame that they're never going to be accepted for who they are.
Really?
That's not.
Okay. I mean, maybe in your sphere, that's fine. But like, I have a lot of gay family. They're fine. Who cares? And also, I make fun of them for being gay. It might be shitty, but like my brother-in-law, I love my brother-in-law. He's my brother-in-law. Every time I get him a gift I usually get him a gay pride gift. Like I'll get him like a magnet or like I got him a sponge for Christmas that was a rainbow, and it's like a silly little thing. It's all well intentioned and it's all fun. There's no hate going on there. And I know that because my brother-in-law and I have a good relationship, and I'm a jokester, right? So. But accepted? Absolutely. What are you talking about? What do you mean not accept? Like, that's just so, like, what a silly, like, online thing to think. Oh, people don't accept gay people. Like, they do. I mean, it depends on the sphere. There is still some, like, not acceptance, but, like, who cares, man? I mean,
Wait, is that why Muslims are the most, is that why Muslims are the most fragile people on the internet then? It's because when you make fun of their religion, they get so ass mad about it that they come out and they attack literally every person they see. Even if it means beheading people in a comic book shop. Like,
that's not true because you're still walking around and you've made fun of Islam. If that were
that's
true,
because I live in the United States of America, thank God. But no, so I'm asking you. So then would you say every time a Muslim lashes out at somebody because you make fun of their religion, is that because they have a deep-seated shame about it?
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
No, I'm saying that the reason that XQC draws a line there, it's not because of this morality thing.
It's just slur. That's why he draws the line there. It's so weird when XQC seems to be the most normal person in the room. It's very interesting.
Because nobody wants to be fat. Nobody wants to be broke.
Nobody wants to be a Muslim? Why do they get so offended when you make fun of them for it?
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Like,
that's exactly. You said that people get offended for being gay because they're ashamed to be gay.
So you also said you could just not be gay. Listen, here's my thing. I think if you... Wow, am I really going to die here? Damn. I thought that would have died. Here's my thing. If you're somebody who thinks that you can just not be gay, then that tells me that you are gay. That's all that it tells me. Because it tells me that you feel like you have the ability to stop thinking about cock in your mouth constantly. So if you're somebody that's like, yeah, you could just not be gay, you just have to choose not to, then you're probably gay because you've, I guess, decided to make the decision to not be gay, which means that you're just desperately trying not to think about cock and balls in your mouth. So I'm pretty sure Sneako's gay because you can't choose to be gay or not. Okay, if you could choose to be gay, you could choose to be straight or rather, that's like the conversation. So I can't. We joke around about femboys and shit, but I cannot be gay. It's not, Do I think there's a little wiggle room in people's sexuality? Sure, but like, you're not going to be fucking, you can't just choose to be gay. That's insane. Maybe Sneako can, because he probably is a closeted homosexual, which is why he likes to watch his girl fuck other guys, right? Obviously, that's contextually inaccurate, but it's a funny joke, guys, and we can be disrespectful to disrespectful people. Incredible.
I'm asking you, then do people get offended by being called Muslim because they're Muslim? Are they ashamed of being Muslims?
The way he debates Cuffham is he's going to equate being Muslim to being gay. Nobody gets offended. If a blue-haired Destiny calls me a Muslim, nobody's offended, right?
Well, yeah, but what if they called you like a slur? And you're not really Muslim, you're just weaponizing their religion. But
call somebody gay and you're not gay, they'll get offended because nobody wants to be gay.
We're not talking about the word gay. We're talking about the F slur. What? Thank you so much for Observet for the 10-month small gut. Papa's on Aussie time today. Yeah, it's a little early.
They're not offended. They don't want to be around people that are hateful. They're upset because you're being hateful towards them. The same way that Muslims get offended when you talk about their religion in a negative way.
Also, I think that they have kind of the right to be upset, right? To be kind of shit on for something that they can't change, right?
No. It doesn't have to do with can't change or can change. Like, for instance, you can change your nationality. It doesn't necessarily mean you should attack somebody over their nationality. You can change the country you're living in or whatever.
Well, that's kind of how. That's like.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the reality is there's nothing wrong with being gay or Muslim or whatever nationality or anything, unless you use it to be hateful, of course. But there's nothing wrong with doing it. Like, you shouldn't. So if there's nothing wrong with the behavior, then you shouldn't be shaming people for the behavior. At least not in like a super deep, intimate way. Like, again, like, you want to have a little bit of fun with somebody that you know, or in a respectful way. I think that's fine. I think I make a lot of edgy jokes all the time, and I like to think that people don't think it's disrespectful. But Sneako clearly doesn't. He's calling gay people slurs. Like, it's like, okay, it's just boring. You know what I mean?
Like, my view on it, it's like, I don't think it's
yeah, like, if you called like a Muslim person like a terrorist, that would be, I would say that would be like in kind of slur territory, right? Because like, that's just pushing this idea that Muslims are terrorists. They're not. All right. They're not. So
a good thing that you go around just being who you are and getting clapped on all the fucking time for it. I think it's
Sure, it can feel bad, but I mean, like, insults are supposed to feel bad. But the question is like, what do you want to make somebody feel bad for, right? If it's a bad characteristic, so if you think somebody's generally bad because they're like a Nazi or a tanky or a brokey or they're fat or whatever, those are all like bad characteristics. Then you say like, oh well, fuck it, yeah, you can make fun of people for these things. If you're making fun of somebody for being gay, the implication is you think that being gay is like a negative, bad characteristic, and that's why you're being bad for it. That's why
that's fair. I don't think that you should I mean, I guess I don't necessarily think you should be making fun of people for being poor or gay, or excuse me, poor or fat necessarily. You know, I guess it depends. But generally, I guess I agree. You know, I think sometimes it can be a little funny when you make fun of somebody. That's the thing. Is like, to me, like any joke is about like disrespect. I guess that's where I come from. Every joke is about like how disrespectful is it. You know what I mean? Like, are you having a little bit of fun calling somebody a chunkster and you're just being silly? I think that's fine. Same thing with being gay. Anything you can be nice and lighthearted about it. But when it comes to that area of disrespect, without that person deserving disrespect, that's where I'm like, oh, that's like over the line, right? You know, you shouldn't just be disrespectful. Like, you shouldn't be going around calling gay people or fat people like, you know, big, fat, chunky, ugly piece of shit. But you know, you shouldn't be doing stuff like that. You shouldn't be disrespectful unless, of course, it's warranted. Sometimes disrespect is warranted. If someone's being disrespectful, then it's okay. Like, a Sneako is a disrespectful person, so I think it's fine to make fun of him for whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Person that came in here.
Here's the next issue: is that thinking that being gay is bad doesn't mean you hate gays, right?
It does. Hot take.
Being fat is bad. I don't hate fat people. It's gross. Like,
being fat is. You shouldn't be fat. But it's fine to be gay. Like, I don't understand. This isn't even. I don't know why we're trying to intellectualize this, but okay.
Thinking something is gross. Thinking being broke is gross or bad does not. I don't hate broke people. There's no rich people.
I mean, I think being broke is bad, but I also think that there's a lot of environmental impacts that make you broke. So I understand that there's a lot of different metrics working on there. So
don't hate broke people. Just like straight people don't hate gays. It's just weird and disgusting. You're allowed to be.
He's such a fucking weirdo.
Disgusted by something.
Why do you think about cock so much? Why are you so disgusted by it? Like, you sitting there looking at gay porn, like, this is disgusting. Like, what is wrong with you?
And not hate it.
That's fine, but it's literally in the language you're using. If you're expressing publicly that you think something is gross.
Listen, I could sit here and say, when I watch two guys kiss, I think it's a little uncomfortable. Right? Like, on all jokes aside, if I see two girls kissing, I think that's kind of hot. But two dudes kissing makes me a little uncomfortable. Right? That's me personally. Right? I think that there's probably a lot of people out there who think the same thing, like, oh, that's true, but I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just saying, hey, it's not for me. It doesn't have to be for me. The world doesn't revolve around me. Sneako is saying it's disgusting behavior. He's trying to be disrespectful. He's trying to be demeaning to people who are gay. That's not like respectfully just being like, yeah, it's just not for me. And like, also, who gives a shit if it's not for me? Like, who cares? Again, not everything is for me. I don't need, you know, guys kiss. Not everything's for me. Okay, that's why the theater exists. That's not for me either. That's also gay. But you know what I mean? So there's a way to be respectful about it, and he's trying to be disrespectful. That's just really what it boils down to. He's just trying to be disrespectful, you know? And I've tried to look at gay guys kissing. I wanted to jerk off. I want to be gay, but it's just, I can't choose. It won't happen because I would increase my sex pool. Well, not anymore. I mean, I'm married, but back in the day, I would have been able to bang so many dudes. Gay guys love me. You know what I mean? I love gay guys because they love me. I'm just not turned on by them, unfortunately. Yeah.
Gross and disgusting. The idea is you're being hateful towards it. You can play word games like, well, it doesn't mean you hate it, but I mean, like, it's essentially what's being expressed.
I mean, I like to use extremes to really draw the picture, right? If you really think about it, what if you say, oh, I'm disgusted by a certain skin color? I mean, it's gonna come off pretty hateful. Do you not agree?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it is hateful. Again, like, you could say like, oh, I'm not particularly attracted to white people. Not for me. That's fine. You could have a racial preference. It's the respect element of it. I didn't want to say black people because, you know, I mean, that's one of the things. I love my wife. Never mind. Let's move on. I'm just being stupid now. No, but there's nothing wrong with having like a racial preference. As much as like the liberals on the internet will be like, no, that's racist. Shut up. Just stop. If you're just like, yeah, I don't like Hispanic women or you know, brown skin or black skin or white skin, or it's just a preference. You're allowed to not like that. If you're sitting here saying it's disgusting, that's disrespectful. You're trying to hurt people's feelings, and it's like, that's childish behavior.
Of course.
What? But you can't change your skin color. You can change.
But you can't change being gay, and even if you could, who cares?
Like, you can just stop. You can stop kissing boys.
So now
you could stop kissing boys. It doesn't make you not gay anymore. It means that you're a closeted homosexual like Sneako.
You can't change being black.
Whoa, hold on. Sexual orientation and the manifestation of that sexuality are two different things entirely.
Right? No, but being gay is a choice.
Okay, who cares? It's not even a productive conversation. I mean, we're gonna engage with this, but it's like, why even talk to this guy? Okay, cool, good job, man. Like apparently to you think about, you can just choose to love thinking about cock. Like that's all it comes down to. Sneako is gay. Like Sneako thinks about dick, and he's like, no. Like that's why the only people who say it's a choice to be gay are the people who are choosing not to be gay because they are gay and they're just trying to hide it. That's all it comes down to. I don't have the choice, so
that's a decision.
Is that your worldview on it?
That's just the truth. You choose to.
Is that your worldview or not? You just say how it is.
He doesn't believe it's real because he's on some retarded shit. It's not worth arguing over.
That's just the objective truth. No, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, but
other than the R slur, Destiny, that was a very mature thing to say.
There's no place in the world where it's been like discovered how to change somebody's sexuality like that. It just doesn't happen. So no, you have no foundation for saying that.
You want to know how to
You want to know how to do it, guys? $50 a month in my really cool program on Discord.
do that is just don't kiss a guy as a man.
Yeah, but then so what? Do you just
You like the laugh that he made afterwards? What a guy! I love. What is he, Papa got making himself laugh?
not have
There you go.
relationships? Do you just not have relationships anymore? Or
No, you can have a relationship, but with the correct sex.
Well, it makes sense because he's friends with Myron, and Myron is legitimately closeted homosexual, and that's not an insult. This is a guy who says that pussy is disgusting. It's a guy who thinks that having sex with women is disgusting, okay, and loves his friend Walter. Like, clearly he's making the choice not to be gay. You're still gay. You can, like, try to hide those feelings, but you're still gay. So I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, but if you don't have any sexual attraction towards them, why would you do that?
That's the wrong feeling.
Why? Who cares? Why is it the wrong feeling?
That's just an incorrect.
When you say that,
Like, you can't explain to me what's wrong with being gay. Like, there's nothing there. Oh, well, what? Like, there's nothing there. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, you literally could not explain anything that's wrong with it. I mean, you could try. I'm sure there are people in the comment section like, no, actually, that's not true, Papa. They can't have kids. We need to have more kids in it. Just shut the fuck up. Come on the stream. Maybe I'll talk to you about it for 5 minutes. Make you, maybe. But there's nothing wrong with it. So
the wrong feeling, what? According to who?
According to the world, the same reason you tell pedophile that they should stop being attracted to kids. It's like you should have a morality about
Hold on.
that.
Well, it's interesting because pedophiles are attracted to people who can't consent. 2 grown gay men can consent. It's not even like not even that smart of a thing that I just said. It's like a hot take.
Why do you think pedophilia is wrong?
Yeah, so the pedophilia is wrong because kids can't consent. It's like that's really what it boils. Kids don't have the equipment to understand what they're doing. So like there's instances where like young kids might like the attraction or the attention from older men. Oh, this older guy thinks it, and I'm using men because men seem to be a little bit more the problem, but women can do it too. But older person, oh, this person thinks I'm grown, blah 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 blah. A few years from now, they'll look back and go like, damn, like that was traumatizing, or I could have been traumatized, Because I know a lot of women, especially, will be like, yeah, I used to go into like, Omegle or AOL chat rooms or something and talk to older guys, and it was so funny, ha ha ha. But the ones who actually were the guys actually engaged back physically, a lot of them are traumatized now, right? So we know this is a really bad behavior. That's gross. Hottest take of the century, guys. Doing stuff with kids is bad. Okay. Except for being like the good parent, and then that's a good thing. You should do more of that, red pill guys. So, hottest takes we're having the hottest takes today.
Because you cannot.
It's a good question to ask. It sounds silly, but it's like if you can't explain why you don't think it's okay to sleep with kids, like then it sounds like you don't have a very strong stance. I can. Well, what's your take on it? Like, why? What's your worldview? Where is your morals rooted in?
Answer. It's a good question.
Yeah, I need to make sure you have an idea. Yeah, tell me. No, make him answer. Yeah, don't bail him out. Make him answer. Why is pedophilia wrong, Sneako? Yeah.
Because it's not how a relationship. Because God says it's wrong.
Because God, he doesn't though. That's the thing. I love God. I truly do. Okay. I unironically hope that there's a God. I pray that there's a God. I want there to be an afterlife. Ever since I met my wife, I love that woman to death. I never want to be without her. This is a real thing, and I hope that there's something. Because if there's not, then I lose motivation to live. I love my wife. I want to be with her forever. That's a big part of what keeps me a godly man. Okay? I feel like, you know what I mean? But the Bible, not super explicit about not fucking kids. Unfortunately, it's okay to marry kids. It says in the Bible that like you're grown once you like start your period for a girl. It's not great. Now, I can appreciate the argument of like, listen, the Bible was given to people based on what they could actually, hear at the time. Right, that's one of the arguments, and sure, maybe God has a little update, is a little DLC for us, and He'll be explicitly like, "Hey, don't fuck kids." Maybe God's speaking through me right now. Put this in the Bible: don't fuck kids. New page. But it's not very explicit about it. You could also argue that there was bad people who wanted to fuck kids, who removed that part of God's word so that they could do nasty shit. So, like, yeah, God doesn't really say don't sleep with kids, just to be clear. I think he would, though. I think he does think that. It just doesn't really seem to be in the Bible. It's unfortunate. And it seems like no religion really has that. I'm pretty sure there's like someone in every book that's considered a good guy who's by the book that slept with like kids or married a kid. So, yeah, Gut 316 said don't fuck kids. Give me a hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah.
That's the reason why. Hold on, wait. So Sneako, no, wait. This is so easy. So then Sneako. So if God tells you that you can f kids like he did with Muhammad or whatever, you think that's okay then? Then you would change your mind on that tomorrow.
That's not what happened.
No. I'm asking you. If God tells you,
I think Muhammad married a 9-year-old. No, am I wrong about that?
I think that f kids is okay. Then you would change your mind on it tomorrow.
There has to be a justification for everything.
Oh,
Ooh, why does God have to justify himself? I'd say I disagree, my friend. I disagree, God.
hold on. God has to justify himself? God has to justify it? If you're talking about the need for a justification, then that means something's not good because God says it. It's only good because he's giving you whatever the justification is. So God saying things doesn't mean anything then. So you're just wrong on that. So then what's the justification then for why pedophilia is bad?
Because it's not, kids cannot consent.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Why can't they consent? They're stupid. Okay, kids are dumb. That's why.
Oh, good job. Yep, you got there. Good job. So
And also, don't good job me. It goes down to what we
But why can't? But gay people can consent as long as they're adults. Who cares?
see from God. If God
no,
created
it
two
doesn't.
genders,
No, because you don't see God, so it doesn't matter.
there's
Okay.
there's no purpose. There's no purpose for a man to
Listen, that's Sneako.
There actually is, and I'll give you like legitimately like probably the best scientific reason that homosexuality is a good thing for society. Okay. Across any species or anything, whether it's humans or fucking dogs or camels or whatever, there are always there's two different reasons. One is that there's always going to be people who are considered unwanted by society. These are typically people that are in like adoption centers. Their parents didn't want them, maybe for good reasons, maybe for bad reasons. The good reason not being because the kid is bad, but maybe like an economic thing or this and that. We don't know. Gay people disproportionately adopt at a higher rate. Additionally, gay people tend to not have the same drive to have their own biological kids. If they want to, that's fine. And what does that mean? That they'll either adopt or they'll take the money that they earn from whatever they're doing and they'll put it into the other people in the family. It's additional resource infrastructure for families. You know, like, oh yeah, I'm not going to have kids. What are they going to do with that money? They're going to spend that money on their brothers or sisters' kids or other family members' kids. Like that's generally it. Or they're going to adopt a kid or they're going to do this. There's like a legitimate necessity from like a scientific perspective why being there needs. How the fuck did I just die? Okay, I guess I'm just dying. Why gay is cool. Gay is a necessary thing in society. That's it. So, like a greater drive to, you know, take care of other people's kids.
If you need a book to tell you not to f kids, I don't know what to tell you, okay? But most people can figure out why it's wrong on their own. And you got to the answer in the end, which is good.
Maybe you need
which
that
is
book.
good, which is good, which is
The
good.
fact that you
Okay.
answered that question, maybe you need that.
No,
book.
because you compared homosexuality to
No,
why? Wait,
no,
wait.
no,
So
no,
make an answer to this
no,
question.
no.
No, hold on. Why is it then that homosexuality, which can be practiced between two consenting adults, why should that be a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing. It's just not
Oh, okay, cool. We're good. It's not a bad thing.
right. There's no purpose that it's serving.
I literally just gave you the purpose that it serves. And we don't even need that purpose. It doesn't matter. But there's the purpose that it serves.
What are you doing that
The
for?
purpose it's serving is two people that love each other might want to be in a relationship and build a household and do that together. That might be something.
And even that by itself is like people loving the people that they love is also a very positive, powerful thing on society. When you're forced to do something you don't want to do, you're going to be more miserable. So why force gay people to like try to be with a fucking another person of the opposite sex or whatever?
Something they want to do.
It doesn't serve a greater purpose.
Every single thing in your
What the fuck's greater purpose is being a red pill shill loser piece of shit that says gay people are bad and like uses slurs? What good do you have on society? Like Sneako is unironically a worthless person. Like, listen, I understand that as a commentary content creator, I am dog shit worthless to society outside of paying my taxes, which by the way, I'm proud to pay. Okay? Fuck you, pussy. As long as they're going to something good. Okay? I understand. I used to work on buses. I used to be a bus washer, lead bus washer. My job unironically had more value to society than what I do now. I used to make sure that buses were clean for old people who had to go to like dialysis appointments could get there without getting sick. Like that's actually beneficial to society. It's profoundly more worth than what I'm doing now. Now I wouldn't change it because I make more money. I'm happier, you know. But like he's sitting here like, oh, there's no value. You don't have any value. You don't do anything productive. You don't contribute to society. You're just an obnoxious, disrespectful loser. So like, what are you talking about? Like when he's, oh, they have no value. You have no value. You're not doing anything for society. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Life has to serve a greater purpose?
Exactly.
Oh. It was a question. You didn't answer it. It was a question. He asked you a question.
Well, he said, yeah, I guess everything in your life has to serve
I said everything has to fulfill a greater purpose. Why would you do anything?
Everything can serve a purpose. It's just like, is it a productive purpose? Two gay people loving each other, and like, again, I think a very powerful relationship is going to breed better outcomes in society. So you're breeding better outcomes in society, right? But like, what does it mean to be productive? Like, what's the negative of two gay dudes kissing?
Meet for no reason.
Sneako, you bring the book a lot and whatever you read a lot, you reference that a lot into what's good and wrong, but I don't think that the fucking book told you to fucking sit at the Red Rock and fucking gamble. I think that's like usually called a haram. I don't think people think you should do that in that book, does it? So what'd you do with that?
True. Very based.
The gambling is a sin.
So what'd you do with that?
Because no Muslim is perfect. Like that's okay, weird.
So
you gotta love somebody who pretends to live by a code of ethics, and then when they falter, they go, no one's perfect. That is an excuse machine. There's a difference between acknowledging versus using as an excuse, and people do this all the time. I talk about like very occasionally, like I have ADHD, so sometimes I'll engage in a behavior that's bad, and it feels nice to know like, okay, this is a bad behavior. I need to change it through some kind of behavioral adjustment. But I can give myself a little bit of a break because like, okay, I have ADHD. Like I shouldn't beat myself up, but I need to do better. That's an acknowledgement that like I have an issue, and it's a productive acknowledgement to change for the better. Now, there's other people on TikTok who pretend to have ADHD, and they'll engage in bad behavior, right? And they'll be like, oh, it's just my ADHD. I can't do anything about it. That's using it as an excuse. That's what Sneako's doing. People are fundamentally flawed. You're never going to be perfect, right? But if you have a gambling issue, and it's against your code of ethics, you saying, no, nobody's perfect, that's just a brush off to be like, I don't care. You're using that as an excuse. Rather, if you have a very deep amount of shame, which I think is a good thing, like ashamed of a bad behavior, like I'm trying, but it's beating me up. I get that. I understand that. I'm a fat fuck. I understand to some extent some kind of a food addiction. I get it. You know, I've had my instances of a porn addiction. I'm ashamed of it. You should be. Shame can be very productive. But if you're sitting here, oh, I'm just a person. I don't say that when I engage in a bad behavior. Oh, I'm just a person. I'm flawed. I don't just, that's an excuse. I'm like, damn, I wish I didn't. Let me just get, like, it's time to work on being better. You know? That's what he's doing. He's acting like a TikTok kid. That's all he's doing. He's just being a TikTok child.
So you pick and choose, and then you choose how wrong you're going to be, and then you dictate what people should be doing based on that same book then.
No, and we should strive to be perfect, right? So that was an example of me sinning, and I don't publicize those sins because I know that we have an audience, and it's important that we do the right thing.
So he still does it in privacy. He doesn't publicize the sins for. It just sounds like you're just trying to signal to your audience that you're a good guy when you're not.
So you only publicize, but you don't uphold those values yourself. That's that's grifting. That's you're grifting.
It's not grifting. It's taking responsibility to promote the right things, right?
No, that's grifting. That's grifting.
No, it's not living by your code of ethics.
I don't think you know what that.
It's putting on a facade for attention, which we know that like that's what it comes down to. Like Sneako isn't actually like Muslim. He doesn't respect the faith. He's just doing it for some kind of attention.
The word means XQC.
Thank you so much for the $2 tailor made for Pop. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll give it to my wife.
The difference between me and you is that I'll sin. Like there's a lot of things that I don't publicize, but you profit off of it. Like you
does he not profit off of that as well? What are you talking about?
You make a lot of money, you make millions of dollars selling sin, and I don't. And we should take the responsibility to not do these things.
I don't know. I kind of like XQC. I know that he doesn't have particularly transformative reactions, but as a person, I kind of appreciate and respect XQC because he's real. Sneako's not a real person. He's not trying to teach people to be real. And I'm not saying XQC is teaching people to be real or anything, but at the very least, when you look at XQC, you know you're going to get a real take. You're going to get a real person that's not just trying to pander to whatever. Like these are his genuine opinions. Sneako, you cannot say the same about.
Do I sin every day? Of course. I listen to
because
music.
I don't see life as a sin or not. I make profit on my life, off my lifestyle, not off the sin, off my lifestyle. I just do my thing. It is not guided by some book or some scroll or some writing in the sky. It's just what I want to be doing.
So how do you know what's right and wrong if you don't get it from God?
Is this?
Golden rule, unironically, is a great way. Treat other people the way that you want to be treated. We shouldn't fuck kids because that would have traumatized me as a kid. You shouldn't commit murder because I wouldn't want to be murdered. All right? You shouldn't take too long on the line of the at the target because I don't want to be sitting around waiting for you, you fucking asshole. You shouldn't yell at the person taking a long time because when you're old, you know you're going to take a long time too. Okay? Unironically, a really solid rule to live by that can help a lot. All right? It's really the golden rule, all jokes aside, is just fundamentally having empathy. It's not even like the hottest take in the world. It's like be empathetic to other people. It's not like a super hot take. We could certainly craft a better world off of that, better than like, well, God said it, you know? Because again, I don't think that God's the book is particularly accurate. I don't even know if I'm confident it's God's explicit word. I'm pretty sure there are people who took advantage of the book and changed it up. That's why there's so many versions in this and that and the other thing. But yeah, thank you so much for the small gut from Jacob's Gaming Adventure. Incredible stuff, brother.
Is that a real question or is that a control?
It's a real question. How do you so you decide what's right and wrong? How do you know what's good?
Just overall, just morality, values, just overall worldviews, just generally what I know about society and history, and I try to have a good understanding.
Society. So where does it come from? Because there's been a lot of people that have been
history. I just told you. You're not listening. History, yeah.
History. So which historians are good? Which ones are bad?
Wait a minute, which ones are bad? Which ones?
I'm asking you. You're saying that that's where you get it from. How do you know who's good and who's bad in history?
Dude, I try to navigate the world with what I know overall. And I get it as much as I can with what was taught to me, what the schools tell me, what society.
Bro, they got rid of a video. Like they pulled the video down twice. How the fuck do I get rid of it? Like appeal this.
I try to go above and beyond to
learn more about the world from school.
For all the elements that I can. If you take only your morality from some book that was written a long time ago, I mean, you're bound to be maybe outdated on some of it. No.
No, absolutely not. I mean, God.
Okay. I mean, that's not outdated. That is your worldview, and I respect it. I respect
and then we update it, and like let's be real.
Oh, it's updated. What version is that?
I said you update it. I said you updated it.
Did it patch already? Yo, what patch are we on right now?
I said you updated it, and that's the reason.
What patch are we on right now?
Why you're drawing the line?
No, I did not update anything. I don't abide by it.
Okay.
It's not the hottest take in the world to say like we have social conversations about these things.
But you didn't give me an answer to where you get your morality from. So you're saying
I told you from the information I'm given, navigating the world. That's it.
Right.
As much as I can from a lot of places.
Correct. So it's always updating. So it's always updating and it's always changing.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, it's always yes.
Okay. So it's in a constant software.
Because the man, I like some of you guys like to use the word man and male. Because I think overall, mankind strives to be better. Once we know more, we can change things. Sometimes textbooks are wrong like science, and they have to fix it. They know more, they improve. I try to adapt and add new parts of the machine that are a stronger machine. It's what I do. It's what I think people should try to do.
So your morality could be different tomorrow than it is today?
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, yes and no. I mean, that's a very simplified way of saying it. That's a very simplified way of saying it. Obviously, like in general, you should always be parsing yourself and your beliefs. Again, it's questioning those beliefs productively or constructively on like a regular basis. It doesn't have to be a daily basis. But anytime you see somebody engage in a particular behavior, you should be intelligently parsing your worldview against that person and their behavior, right? And see like, okay, well, what fits in? Is this okay? Is that okay? Or is this okay? Is that okay? You shouldn't be constantly shifting over and over again massively and hugely. Like for the most part, you should have a pretty stable perspective. But like, yes, you should, like, it's not a bad thing to constantly be like, okay, what do I believe? What's the situation that happened? Is there, room for nuance or intelligence or this or that? There's nothing wrong with doing that at all. So like, yeah, but it's not going to be this wishy-washy, like I'm going to drastically change my entire perspective every day. It's like, hey guys, I'm against violence. Okay. So if somebody hits somebody, that's bad. All right. Well, what if the person that they hit them because the other person had a knife in their hand? Oh, well, okay. Actually, well, you know what? I think that there can be exceptions to violence if it's necessary to defend yourself. These are the kind of conversations that you'll have like every single day, right? Not every single day, but these are like the kinds of conversations that are going to obviously come up. Like you're going to be parsing your worldview against stuff like that that's happening. It's not like the hottest take in the world.
These are things that we don't know yet about human cognition, psychology, just social behaviors. We just don't know some things, and we have to adapt.
That's also very true.
New information.
Also, literally, even religions literally do this. Okay, like even religions update their.
Bro, I'm so confused. I have this one video that keeps getting put up and down on TikTok, and it keeps getting taken down, put back up, like literally in the span of like 2 seconds. I posted this video, it immediately got taken down. I appealed it, they put it back up. Just now I looked at my phone, they'd taken it down again. So I appealed to to the creator rewards program. They put it back up somehow. This is so confusing.
Their standards for how they exist and how they are spread amongst their people and how their nations are ran over time. Like Islam's done this, Christianity's done this, Catholicism.
No, Islam has not done that. That's not true. And Christianity has been adapted, but that's besides the point.
What do you mean Islam hasn't done this? You don't think that Islam or Islamic states haven't changed the way, for instance, that they approach like dhimmi? Like,
of course they have to have. Like, yes, of course they do. Like any Muslim person living in the United States, like it's westernized. Any religion living in the United States has westernized themselves. Like, because again, we're not like a perfect representation. Like, we accept gay people, et cetera, et cetera. So like, people have done this all over the place.
The way that they have like other religious groups that live in their countries, like there are tons of.
You're changing morality to politics, and that's not.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Wait. Shut up. That's not politics at all. What do you mean? That of course that's morality. There should be
Muslim states. You said Muslim countries. I'm talking about the book.
I'm sorry. What do you think Muslim state means that's not involved in religion?
They are looking at the book and they're using that as a center point for how they orchestrate their country and run their country. If they decide not to follow it exactly, that means that they're not following it exactly, which seems like a lot of places are doing. So,
what do you think a caliphate is? Who do you think Muhammad was? What the f are you talking about?
Okay, you're shifting the goalposts. This is not.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
All right, more debate terms, baby. That's incredible.
Wait, I just need to hear you say this. Do you think that politics and Islam are completely dissociated from one another? They don't have anything to do with each other?
Right, you saying that it's changing. That's sort of an example of politics changing the religion. That's not to the core, and that's besides the point.
But the doesn't. You can say anything is like at the core of it. It doesn't change. But like at the end of the day, like people aren't worshiping the core as much because they are changing their relationship with it. So
it's besides the point. I'm sorry, hold on. I need to hear you say this. Do you think that the political system, Islamic theocracy, you don't think that has anything to do with Islam, the religion? You think those are two totally separate things?
Genuinely, I don't really care about what you're saying about Islam.
I know, because
I don't care about. He's not going to answer the question.
I have no idea. But okay, if you don't have any idea what the you're talking about, why are you roasting him on not knowing where all of his morals come from? You don't even know about the own religion that you grift on. Like, Jesus.
Damn, dude.
Who cares?
I'm asking questions to XQC. Okay?
You're not. You're trying to grill him because he doesn't have an answer to the ultimate source of morality. And you don't even understand your own source of morality.
That's true. Just because Sneako is confident, it doesn't mean that he's right.
It's a retarded
Hey! Stop saying that word. It makes me sad.
Conversation. You're just trying to like go for gotchas here so you can clip it up on your Rumble channel.
No, I'm not clipping up anything. I'm not streaming right now. I wanted to talk about the word.
Okay, well, you can still record when you don't stream, just to be clear.
And then you started like yapping over him to save him. Right?
Nobody's yapping over anybody. I started asking you questions because you compared homosexuality to pedophilia because you didn't know why fucking kids was wrong.
Oh my god, that's fucking crazy.
I just told you why. Okay, XQC.
You stumbled.
Yeah, but it took you a while to get there. You had to draw a map in your brain. Like you couldn't come up with the answer of like kids can't consent. It took you a while to get. Well, God said. Well, okay. Well, God said, but okay, wait, but also, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not even confident that he knows that he has a good answer for this. To be honest with you,
For the answer eventually. Congratulations.
Why the word "faggot," for example?
Whoa, bad word, brother.
Why do you the reason that you draw the line there is because of the always updating morality that we have.
Oh no. Yes. Who cares? Again, I told you, I used to say slurs all the time when I played video games. Because as a society, we were more ignorant. And then I got older. I met more gay people. I wanted to be more empathetic. So I'm like, you know what? I may unironically not think that this word by itself is always used in a context of hate. Well, hating gay people, right? Like maybe you're driving and somebody cuts you off. You silly goose. But like it does come. It's extraordinarily insensitive to people who are gay when that word is almost always used to be hateful to gay people. And like just because maybe I don't sometime, well, ever, that doesn't mean that like we should be okay to saying it because it's like it makes people uncomfortable. It's like, oh, that sucks. It hurts me when you say that. Whatever you think you mean, like that's a slur that's been used to oppress us and hurt us. And so like now I don't use them. Like, oh, that's fine. You just want to feel. Gay. This is what it comes down to. Gay people are like, oh, I want to feel comfortable existing. Okay, I get that, brother. Incredible stuff. Yeah. Okay. Not really that big of a deal, man. It's like just be a little more sensitive to people. Like it's a little empathy is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Right. That's what I said. No, it doesn't do with it.
That's why within your community you draw the line at this word because Twitch tells you that this is the word. You don't want to insult.
He's not even engaging. What do you?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I've never I want to use this word so bad, but Twitch won't let me do it. I feel like Twitch. Like, here's the thing, people. I understand sometimes people can pander, but I don't think people understand why there are rules like that. Like with Twitch, people think like, oh, there's rules with Twitch because there's agenda. If Twitch allowed slurs, more people who use slurs, which are massively, typically very bigoted people, would be on the platform, making it uncomfortable for a lot of other people. The reason why I'll never stream on like Kick or Rumble is because slurs are available, and I don't want the audience of childish little dipshits that think that that's appropriate to say. I like YouTube. That's why I like streaming on here. It's decent, it's consistent, it's simple. There's a lot of different people on here. There's a lot of different audiences. I don't want the audience of people who think it's okay to go and say slurs. I'm probably a little annoying when I don't even let black people say the N-word in my chat with an A. When they do, I'm like, listen, I gotta delete that. I gotta time you out for 5 minutes because it's just a standard. I don't want that type of comfortability. I can't really know if you're black or not. Anyway, so I don't need some white kid pretending to be black, and it's just uncomfortable. And then for a lot of other black people, it just makes them uncomfortable too. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't really want the audience of people who are like really okay with saying slurs, because it's just a shitty audience. Like audiences who use any slur, honestly, that use like any slur, the R slur, the F slur, the N slur, word slur. I don't really want that. That attracts negative attention. I don't want that attention. I don't want that immaturity. I think that like if we don't agree on like a baseline of respect for different people with different characteristics, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here? You know what I mean? It's not just that. It's any level of disrespect too. So it's not like Twitch is doing this because like, oh, they're pandering to this. It's just uncomfortable. Who wants that type of fucking audience there? That's why Rumble and shit exists. It's for a bunch of losers that like want to be like, they prioritize slurs over being like productive, sensitive members of society.
That he didn't give Twitchers an answer for anything.
I'm explaining something. It's not his answer.
You're not. You're talking about the Matrix.
What are you talking about?
I guess he might be actually signaling too with the Matrix a little bit there. I wouldn't doubt it.
You streaming on Twitch right now?
What? I'm on Kick. I didn't go to Twitch today.
He's on Kick. XQC's on Kick. They allow slurs on Kick. I literally watched Trainwreck say like, yeah, we're okay with the F slur, but don't use it too much. It's like, okay, weird, but like he could say it if he wanted to. Him not saying it has nothing to do with what Sneako's talking about.
He has fostered a community, a Twitch community.
If you want to know what it is, I don't mind leaking my shit. My contract has no morality clauses. What that means is that I don't have to abide by some morality standard of Amazon or anything to keep my contract at Kick. They don't give a shit. I can tell you anything I want to, and I'd still be fine about it. Anyone
he probably couldn't use slurs, but still, like again, XQC when he's on Kick, I don't think he starts using. He's literally defending people using slurs while streaming on Kick, apparently, right at this moment. So clearly, he's not fucking beheld to this this perspective.
I don't give a pussy. Like I don't. It's not why I do it. I don't want to do it. It's that simple. And I have a few set of things on why I do it or not. And the only thing you can reference is some fucking book written like 9 million years ago, dude. Like I don't give a. I don't.
It's just so funny.
Abide by that. I don't abide by that. I respect that you do, but I don't.
Okay, but why do you think that you stop there at this word? It's because being on...
Because it's a slur. That's it. God damn it. It's a fucking slur, dude. Like, I don't know.
Twig, I'm not saying that you have a contract for it, but being on this website so long with people that run it that also don't believe in God, they follow your morality system where it's always updating and it's always changing.
It has to.
No, and then we start tolerating crazy things, right? If it always updates and changes, we don't know where we draw the line.
It's not like the update's happening every 4 seconds. It's just like small updates based on like societal conversations about things, you know? So
if we never updated our morality, like Disney said, people would be kids now and it would be accepted. We had to understand why it's bad, right? And have core fundamentals and really get why is this bad, and then apply that in real time. That's an update. That is an update. It's how that works. We understand why thing is bad through.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not like a super hot take there, Sneaks.
Whatever.
Not a super hot take there, New Balance. You know what I mean?
In psychology, cognition, logic, whatever, and then we apply that. Otherwise, you stop being better. Like, why is the concept of being a better person and going so foreign to you? Do you not want to be better?
No, he wants to make money. I don't think Sneako has a concept of like what it means to be a good or a bad person. I think he has a concept of what it means to be what he considers successful, which is making as much money as possible. Obviously, making money is important. I want to make money. You want to make money. It's a good thing to make money. It's good to work hard to make money. It's also good that when you don't have to work hard to make money. I'm not going to lie. Right? But when you start selling yourself, your morals and values for money, this quick way of hitting success like Sneako did, drastically changing his entire life and his entire moral and ethical code, like that's pathetic. And you shouldn't do that for more money. You just shouldn't be doing that. Like that's the difference between what, you know, like a good man and a great man. You know, oh, I'm a great man because I have lots of attention. Yeah, but are you a good person? Are you a good man? Well, he's not even a man. Let's be real. But you understand my point. You know, you shouldn't just be doing like you shouldn't be doing that.
Here's an easy question. Listen, okay, so should we update or not? What do you think the age of consent should be, Sneako?
Listen, man, I think 18's okay. Maybe we have conversations about a age of consent tier system. You know, maybe like an 18. We kind of do. You know, you drink at 21, you do this. But, you know, at least 18. Maybe we could have... I mean, honestly, I think the first step is to, like, make it a baseline 18 in every fucking... entire world, frankly. What the fuck, you know? There are states that's like, oh, 16. No, thank you. That's a crazy, brother. You know, but...
Yeah, this is not an important conversation.
No, it's a super...
okay.
You don't think kids are not as an important conversation? What do you think the age of consent should be? If you want to be consistent, you don't think anything updates, just tell us what you think it should be.
I think it should be past age at a developed age.
Oh, okay. What's the developed age? Because it sounds like you might mean what's developed when they start puberty. Where do you draw the line of development?
What is a developed age? If you had to set a law for it, what would you set it? What would you set it about?
It's a developed age.
No.
Yeah, he's not answering for a reason. Sneako thinks that you should fuck kids. I'm not. This isn't even like. I'm not even kidding. Like, I don't think. Let's just be clear. I don't think Sneako has an attraction to kids. But Sneako clearly doesn't have a particularly, vested interest in protecting kids from other people who do have an attraction to them. That's what's being communicated to me here.
Answer the question, you fucking pussy. Holy shit, you're such a cowardly fuck. Stand up for what you believe in. If you actually are Muslim, you're actually Islamic or whatever, then stand up for your beliefs. Every other Muslim scholar online will do this. Do it. Stand tall on it.
Yeah, you had a conversation with a Muslim that was like, yeah, once a girl has big boobs, even if she's 13, he unironically had a conversation with somebody about that. So
don't act like a little pussy in here trying to grill XQC on modern meta ethics or whatever. If you want to answer basic questions about your worldview, what should the age of consent be?
Do you see how
you want to answer the question? You see how he's going to yap and not answer the question? I'm going to ask the same thing when you're done. Go ahead.
I just answered the question. I just told
What was the age?
Give me like a general age when somebody's grown enough to be deemed consenting.
Just told you at a developed age.
Sneako
What's a developed age?
thinks you should be able to 9-year-olds. That's what Sneako thinks, and he won't answer that question honestly. Or he's going to have to give a different answer, in which case he's updated his morality. He's updated his views, and that's really uncomfortable for him. You don't have to answer to any of this shit, bro. Go back to that corner in London where you're getting roasted by year 1 debaters on Christianity. This is I don't know what the f you're doing in here.
Hey, stop, Destiny. Stop saying that word. It makes me sad.
Okay, so you can leave the call. I wanted to go talk about this.
You can leave the call. I'm pretty sure this is Destiny and XQC's call. What do you mean, leave the call? They were the ones in it at first.
Leave the call. I like hanging out here. I've talked to a lot of files in the past, so.
Jesus Christ. He was friends with Mama Max. No, not Mama Max. What's the other one? Max Steel. No, I'm getting there. His name was Max. Fuck. What is his fucking name? Somebody tell me in the chat.
Okay.
Okay, Sneako, I'm actually curious now. What do you think the age of development is?
I just told you. It depends.
I just told you. You didn't give any age.
On where you are. It depends on the world.
It does. That's absolutely true. Let's be absolutely real. Different people mature at different rates 100%. And the reality is that there might be a world where a 17-year-old is as mature as a 20-year-old. You want to know what I'm not interested in? Making it so that 17-year-old is at the age of consent. Because that's just stupid. We have 7 billion people in the world. We don't need to be exact about everybody. In fact, we should play it safer, right? So if on average everybody is maturing at 18, let's make it 18. But, you know, and so that 17-year-old that might be more mature, sucks to suck, I guess. You can wait a year. Like, because like that all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, actually we'll do it. What are you going to do? A metric test to see if you're mature enough to have sex with a grown man? It's fucking insane. I mean, as it is, if you're a grown man, you're fucking pathetic for fucking around with like 18-year-olds, to be honest with you, especially if you're like dating them. I understand like a 30-year-old going through a midlife crisis or whatever and like, oh, I'd fuck an 18-year-old. You know, maybe when I'm 40, I'll feel that way. Hopefully not. But to like date them, like what do you do? Like what do you have in common? I don't understand. But like what do we get out of this? This is bizarre. This is bizarre behavior.
Then at what stage do you think somebody's developed in? What stage of development? There's a lot of stages of development.
It varies. I don't think
it varies. It varies on what?
It varies on the age.
It varies on the age.
It depends on where you are.
You need to have set ages for that. There are stages of development. As a child, an adolescent, an adult, and then fully developed. Like, is it the brain? Is it the body? Is it cognition? What parts?
Yeah, these are good questions. Because just because somebody's physically developed doesn't mean that they're mentally developed. There's a lot of hot girls in the group with Down syndrome. If you know what I'm saying. Okay. Stop that. The joke went too far. All right, I'm too down low. You know what I'm saying.
Development is. Can you target that?
I don't spend too much time thinking about that.
Okay, so
so then why are you bringing it up at all?
so if a man fucked a 12-year-old and he was like, well, this person was like really developed, would that be okay then? You wouldn't call that person a pedophile?
No, that's wrong. Absolutely.
Why is that wrong?
Why? Yeah. What if they were developed? But I mean, he hasn't given us what he thinks developed is.
I just said that you're not supposed to do relationships with people, but look.
Well, you can't do
What?
do relationships?
You can't do relationships with children. I said that.
Wait, what is a child though? But what if they say they were developed?
Yeah, what did you define developed to you?
Developed is.
I would just reference back to scientists or who are like, hey, 18, the age of consent. Oh, that sounds great. That makes perfect sense to me. Pretty easy. You know what I mean? We have people in society, and we should always be skeptical, but we have people in society who make it a profession to engage in certain things and study certain things, and they've come out with the science that 18 is currently the best age of consent. That's all, because kids are dumb, and that's where I come from. Makes sense to me. You know,
it's 18 plus, bro. Like, come on now.
Ooh, do you co-sign that, Sneako? Is that what develop means? 18 plus?
Well, people believe that, but throughout a lot of states, a lot of it's like 17, a lot of it's 16.
Oh,
okay. So what do you believe? I live in New York. The age of consent, I think, is 17 here. I don't think that's good. You know what I mean? But so what do you think?
I think 16, 17, that's the ethical age to start or marrying people?
I don't follow the legal morality that you guys are following.
So then what morality do you follow?
I'm asking you for the Sharia. I'm asking you for the Sharia morality. What's the religious one? What do you think is the morality there?
It says developed. It's not a specific age.
So basically, you could be developed at 13. So you could fuck kids. Okay, crazy.
Or if a guy wants to fuck a 12-year-old, if he feels like they're developed, then you're saying it should be okay in terms of religion, right? In terms of at least ethics or morality, right?
No, in the Quran, it does not specify. It doesn't have an age. Like, you're going to go in circles about this forever?
I'm just curious why.
Yeah, the reality is, Sneako, is that by saying that there's no specific age and just saying developed, you're allowing pedophiles to rape kids. The only people that will use that argument are people who are attracted to kids. That's it. You're defending disgusting predators when you're like, developed. Okay, so if Islam says developed, this is what you could do very easily. You could be like, Islam says developed, and based on all the academic research we have, 18 is developed. So I think that 18 is that age. Oh, great. Not really a hard answer for a religious person to engage in. In fact, I honestly haven't met a religious person who wants to fuck kids. Incredible. I also don't hang around with people who make it a point to talk about these things like Sneako does. But yeah.
It's so hard to get you to give an age for when you think is an acceptable time to fuck somebody.
I answered the same question 4 times.
You haven't given it. Developed isn't an age. It's not a number.
Sneako, I think he's trying to make an understanding of how you apply it in the real world. How do you apply that knowledge? Or that
Sneako knows what Destiny's saying. He's just desperately trying not to talk about it because he's looking stupid. There's nobody that's listening to this conversation in Sneako or in Destiny's audience that's like, Sneako's making a lot of sense. But there are people in Sneako's audience that are looking at this and going, Destiny's making a lot of sense here. And that's a failure. Oh, well, I'm not recording. It doesn't matter. They're going to be, if you don't have posted on your channel, then that means that other Sneako fans are going to go watch Destiny's conversation through XQC or Destiny. And they're going to see this, and you're slowly going to lose more people because you look like a fucking idiot. And it doesn't even mean that Destiny's going to get them on their side to watch him. It just means that they're just not going to watch you anymore. They're going to go back to watching Sesame Street because they're a bunch of fucking dumb little toddlers.
piece of that phrase you're using, the age, into the real world. How does somebody navigate that? Somebody who read the same book that you did, had your information. How do they navigate the world? How do they do it?
It's hard to understand you. How does someone navigate the world without a book?
No. You're missing the point. How, if you or you would use that?
I mean, that question, yeah, you reference a book apparently for all your moral quandaries. So how do you navigate the world without a book?
Phrase developed it, right? As a concept, somebody knows this and they intake that. How do they apply that to the real world? How is they supposed to know? That's just sort of specifics behind it, right?
What is your question? How do you apply the Quran to the real world?
Yes.
Yes, that's like a pretty basic question. Like I said before, I gave you like a literal answer.
If the book says that phrase, developed, right? Somebody, when they go into the real world, how do they apply that? How do they use that to know what to do?
Yeah, how do they know what the word developed means, right? Everybody might have a different perspective on what developed means.
It's a simple question. Please answer it.
It's pretty easy to tell if somebody's a developed human or not.
Great. Let me know how. What is it? What's easy to tell about whether they're developed or not? What's your litmus test for somebody being developed?
So that you trust every human that has read the book to know what's development and know how to use that, and you trust that people will do that responsibly. Yes.
Well, this is also the value of having a community of people around you who are on the same sort.
Also,
of
if you
yeah, great. And those people in the community would talk and they would set standards as to what this would be. So what would they say?
Do it. So if you say,
what does your community say, Sneako? What does your community say, brother?
Oh, my bad. I thought it was developed. They were only 13. Let's say you said that the community should now. Okay, oh, you should have done that, and that's good course correction.
Right. If there's people around that are educated, you have sheikhs and you have other people within the
community. So after the mistake,
So basically what you're saying is that there's this really vague thing where it's developed enough, but then you have Muslim scholars who are like, actually, it's closer to this age. And interesting, because you were just giving XQC shit for shifting ethics when your ethics seem to be shifting in real time.
After you've done wrong, they go, hey, yo, dude, you probably shouldn't have done that, bro.
No, if,
like,
if they're following the faith, then they're going to have the right intentions, and they're going to ask people, and it's going to be pretty obvious.
So they have to wait for faith to like.
I mean, are the people that are following any faith killing people? Are those people following the right intentions of that faith, regardless of whether it's an Islamic or Christian or Jewish or what?
To come down on earth. And
I'm saying it's the value of having a community that's on the same page about things. The same, and you know that.
But
That's why
I feel bad for kids apparently in this community Sneako belongs to, you know, and I don't think it represents all Muslim people. I would hope not. It just seems to represent some people who weaponize the religion of Islam to try to molest children. Apparently, it's fucking crazy. This is Sneako destroyed these clowns. True, he's fucking absolutely dominating them with facts and logic.
The community is supposed to come in and tell you what to do and when not to do it, or if that's how you use, if that's the number you use to navigate the world.
You guys keep trying to make it seem like it's as concrete.
I'm not trying to make it. It has to be concrete.
That's you have to make a like the reality is when you have a society of millions of people, like you're never going to be perfect in your laws. Like for instance, I'm a really good driver when I'm drunk, okay, but everybody that's not me is a terrible drunk driver. So we have to make drunk driving illegal, okay? Right? Are you with me on this one, guys? Are you guys with me here? No, all jokes aside, that's how it is. So, like, are there some 17-year-olds that might be developed enough to be able to consent to, like, in a way that an 18-year-old can? Maybe. Not interested in changing the law for that. Hardline 18, possibly even raise it, because the reality is you can't sit here and parse through 330 million people alone in the United States to figure out, like, every hyper-specific aspect or scenario. Not the hottest take in the world.
The world works legally and morally. You have to. Yes, you have to know.
No, that's actually, you just contradicted yourself. If you have to know, you said your morality always changes and updates.
Exactly.
A morality changing and updating doesn't mean that there's nothing firm in the moment. I mean, you want to be mature about it. Like it's like a video game that fucking has actual DLC. It's like this is how the game plays. We updated it though to make it, you know, generally the hope is that it's better. Okay, cool. Now it's just different, moving on a little bit to be a little bit better in some capacity. That's all it is. It's not this super duper hot take at all. Like, what are you talking about? Like, holy fuck. Like, wow, incredible.
Exactly. Because if you don't know something, then you'll know more later. But you cannot say, oh, dude, I didn't know because my community didn't tell me. Like, it's such a stupid way to navigate the world. Like, what? You don't have to, you don't have to fucking make the jump to see if the hole will kill you. So other people might have seen it, will tell you ahead of time. Do you have to jump? No, you don't. But you're saying, sure. Yes, but it's a community. Brother, what do you...
Bro, it's like it's basically the same with like social media, right? We've been pretty much unregulated on social media for a long time, and now people are having conversations of like, hey, this stuff can be really bad. It can be like very addictive. People can get like have really bad relationships and experiences with social media. We need to implement laws that maybe have or some kind of at least ruling that could like help people a little bit better. You know, that's not a hot take. Like child actors, like for instance, child actors, they should make it mandatory. I think it's fine to have child actors. They shouldn't be going to parties, but I think they should make a law that you have to save like at least 50% of the money you make as a kid in an account for that kid. Because they're like Honey Boo Boo's mom used all of her money. Use all of Honey Boo Boo's money. That's terrible. Right? So we have a thing that exists. It might be a new thing. We experience with it and we go, we should change a little bit based on how we're treating this thing. We should change a little bit here. Not exactly the hottest take in the world. Like same thing with like prisons. Like, hey, we should put people in prison. I agree with that. But then you're seeing people go to prison, at least in America, and they're coming out worse the other side. They don't get they have no talents or anything. They're not getting any education. So us being like, hey, maybe we should make it so that prison's a little more productive. Oh, okay. Not the hottest take in the entire world, right? It's about you implement something, you see how it goes, and then you go, okay, here, how can we adjust this? That's how any system works in general. Sneako denying that is just stupid. The laws from 1,000 years ago are never going to work today because people 1,000 years ago were dumber than we are today. It's ridiculous. People from 1,000 years ago, they didn't even have like flushable toilets. Why the fuck am I going to listen to them about whether you should fuck kids? It's insane.
What are you talking about?
I'm not. It's hard to understand.
How? I asked you a simple question. You failed to answer like 10 times. If the only thing that somebody knows is what you know, is it what the book says, that one phrase, when they're developed, how can they use this knowledge and then operate in the real world and use this information to not be a deviant or a weirdo? How can they do that?
The same reason that we know intrinsically when you look at somebody, they're a man.
Not a good
woman.
answer.
He's just virtue signaling to his audience that oh, trans bad. Dude, you're so fucking, this is crazy. Oh fuck.
The format
I didn't finish making my answer.
The format sucks though. The same way. I don't know what the same way that is. Just give me the answer.
I'm giving you the answer.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you're just trying to like gravitate towards somewhere where you feel like you're strong. Man, woman, man, woman. I'm not interested in that conversation, right? Like it's obviously just desperately trying to appeal to your audience because you know you're getting dumpstered right now.
I'll let you do your answer then. Go ahead. Do
Right, the same way throughout history, it's always been known. You could tell when you look at somebody if somebody is a man or somebody's a woman. It's the same thing when you could look at somebody.
I don't know. In the wrong light, Sneako looks like a fucking woman. So.
And you know if they're an adult or they're a child.
Okay,
it's only within. Let me answer. It's only within the updated morality that you're following that now these simple things of biology that we've all understood throughout human existence it's changed.
It's like every NPC talking point. Are you gonna roll climate change into this next? Jesus Christ.
What does climate change have to do?
So you can tell.
What does fucking men and women have to do about fucking kids?
Trans people have to do with any of the conversation.
Did you not get the point? Do I have to explain it again?
Sneako, he's so stupid. I this is why I guarantee you Sneako's never been intelligent. He's always hooked on to some other daddy, like Andrew Tate or somebody that he respects, and been like, okay, what should I be saying? And just copies them 100%.
No, it's not. If you can only an analogy or a metaphor is something that you use to further illustrate a point. It's not something you use in substitution of an actual answer. You don't
good point, actually.
have an answer, and all you have are analogies or metaphors. It means you don't understand what you're talking about, and you're just trying to preach to the audience on some hot button issues or whatever.
Nobody's preaching. These things have
You are preaching.
all been understood forever, and then now they're becoming complicated because we have updated morality.
Yeah, because people have different interpretations of things all the time. Why do you think there's a Sunni-Shia divide in Islam? Why do you think that there are differences in theocratic rule or law or regulations amongst even different Sunni states that all ostensibly agree on the same religion? Like even
Those are
Islam
small
has
differences, but that's not worth focusing on the small differences of these different sects of religion. Where
The only reason that they're considered small differences is because there are no other differences to like really be had there, right? Like that's the thing. We're always going to be able to isolate and figure out like focus on a difference that we have in a society. If we didn't have racism, we'd have some other problem. Like if we didn't hate black people in America, not me. I love black people, brother. We would find something else to like hate or be divided about. It's like the Overton window. I don't even know if I'm using that right. Of fucking, some kind of bigotry. So,
or like now, if in the West we have your point of view, like the blue hair, whatever. I don't believe in anything. We don't even know what's a man and what's a woman. Those are biological, visual differences. You're telling me
incredible
that I don't know based on my eyes what the truth is.
that's great.
I mean, you literally don't. Like trans people aside, you don't know the truth of anything. Like not for nothing. And I think we all agree here. Even if you're somebody who's a Papa Gut enjoyer and you're not very trans affirming, I think we could at least agree that you shouldn't have sex with kids. Right? Not a hot take. Sneako doesn't agree with that. Okay? So I feel like most people would be like, you know what? We can be more agreeable because we agree that kids shouldn't be molested. But Sneako can't agree with that. Than trans people. Because he doesn't even have like the fundamentals down. Which is actually almost impressive.
Great,
about
listen.
the differences of sex of religion.
Yeah, that's
you cannot
great.
compare that.
Yeah, and I know, and I understand that in your life, like trans issues are like the most important fucking thing in the world to talk about. That's fine. You might not be able to know the difference between a man and a woman in the West or whatever, but depending on how things continue to go in the Middle East, you might not know the difference between a thriving nation state and a nuclear waste pile.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
If these people all start nuking each other, how can you say that the differences over there are minor when two Islamic states, fucking Iran and Saudi Arabia, are literally like firing missiles and shit at each other historically? Like, how can you say the differences are minor there and then focus on?
Well, apparently they do have very minor issues. If you're a kid, I don't know, based on whatever the hell's going on here. It's rough.
Trans people in the United States to make like 0.1% of the population.
I'm not focusing on this. I'm talking about his point of view of changing what we know.
You're trying to shift the conversation to trans people because you feel really weak when it comes to your takes on children.
Have to.
Of changing simple truths. Like you keep just you say that I'm making talking points about talking about climate change, and then you bring in Iran and Saudi Arabia. Like, hey, does anyone else hear this?
Yeah, hold on.
I wonder if Sneako's just not understanding. He just looks so dumb here.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Let me speak a little bit slower, okay? Maybe you're not following anymore, okay? You seem to make the claim that things are changing in the West and they're not as good as your static, unchanging holy book. And what I'm saying is multiple countries that all ostensibly are theocratic regimes that are following a religion all seem to have pretty interpretations of parts of that book and are even like warring with each other, like trying to blow each other up. So the idea that change leads to bad things, but Islam, this one religion, is this like crazy, good, amazing thing.
You made the same dumb argument earlier. You cannot equate politics and a government to a book.
You got it, bro. What are you talking about when you say you can't equate politics and Islam, Sneako? Do you know how fucking retarded that statement?
Hey, Stop it.
What do you think a theocracy is?
You cannot equate the way that men make mistakes within government and politics to a holy book that's perfect. The same reason that
The holy book that I can't tell you not to fuck kids, apparently.
XQC brings up me gambling at Red Rock and says, oh, look, you're not a perfect person. Nobody is ever assuming that a person can be perfect. We make mistakes and we make sins, but we need to have a perfect conception of morality. And there's only one thing that we can go to, and that's the word of God.
Yeah, but people don't even agree
And apparently molesting kids. I don't know. Incredible.
on what that word is. They don't even agree on in Islam what that even means. And I don't know why you keep trying to separate the politics from the religion when Islam is a political religion.
Yes, Sped. The difference.
He called him a sped. Incredible.
Why do you keep calling me sped when you don't understand the foundational aspects of what you believe in?
On minor differences. The reason that I bring up
Minor.
the issue of people not knowing the genders or him not censoring the word community is because people are lying about obvious truths.
Oh, okay. So
focusing
things
on
like
little
different
religious
interpretations of how your Islamic government, theocratic government looks, that's a minor difference. But whether or not you call people or whether or not you acknowledge trans people, those are huge differences in society. Seriously?
Like the reality is nobody like. Listen, trans people are great. I love them. Nobody cares about this. This is an issue that doesn't really matter to most people. It's not really that, but a bit of a hot button issue. It's an over focus because in American politics at least, conservatives don't seem to have much other than like I hate gay people. So like. Yeah, it's not exactly a major hot button issue here.
Theological differences that separates the sex of religion is different than people not even knowing what they're looking at and saying, I have no idea what this
Sneako, you don't even know what the age of consent could be. I don't know how the you can criticize somebody else for not knowing some other basic fact of the world. None of us have a problem saying 16, 17, 18, whatever years old.
18, you know, I wouldn't say 16, 17, but Sneako won't even, not for nothing, but Sneako won't even say 16 or 17. Before he said, well, some states have 16 and 17, but he didn't say, I think it should be 17. You know, which communicates to me that he thinks it'll be okay for a child to be molested. I mean, what's the other indicator?
You said that I was trying to get a gotcha earlier, and that this is exactly what you're trying to do here. You want to get the clip with this question.
I'm not getting a clip or a gotcha. I'm pointing out that Sneako, your Western poison brain is like, you know what? Fucking 9-year-olds is probably not good. Yeah, it probably should be a lot higher than that.
No, that's absolutely not what I said. But you said I was trying to do a setup, and that's why you're defending your Twitch partner over here.
My Twitch partner.
Hasn't Destiny been banned on Twitch for like 10 years or something, or 5 years?
Yes, because Twitch is so important to me. The platform I'm banned on right now. Yeah, keep coping, dude. Nobody can really believe different things than me unless they're bought and paid for by somebody else. Mr. Griff's to a fucking audience of Muslims that doesn't know who Muhammad was. Okay, dude.
Absolutely not. I have mostly Christians and atheists that watch my streams, but they like that.
Well, I thought you were. What? I don't think that that's true. Wait, why? Okay.
I have some sort of actual morale. I don't just change, and I don't think.
I don't think that there's any like actual Christians or there's nobody. Nobody's going to Sneako. There's nobody that like takes God seriously is watching Sneako stream. That's not like a hot take. Pretty basic, boring take actually. So.
That there's a million genders, and I can't even agree about specific truths.
Have some sort of actual morality. What that's lasted for what? 16 months, 17 months? Okay, leaf in the wind.
Sure. Great. I
leaf in the wind. Okay.
Came in here and
it's like my dad just insulted him. But I don't know my dad. I don't know how he would talk. So
I was talking actually, and you said I was trying to get a gotcha question, but the truth is, like, even the world can't agree about the age of consent. So you're trying to pin that on?
Yeah, I can though. 18 plus, pretty solid. Easy to do, guys. That's pretty easy to say. You know what? I disagree with the world.
I mean, it's stupid.
The world has a pretty rough range. It's like between like 16 and 18, Sneako.
Actually, no, it doesn't. It's some places it's 13. It's some places in Africa.
Wow. Do you think that that's okay? Because I don't
have one.
Oh, really? What kind of places? What kind of places is that age of consent a lot lower?
I don't.
Yeah. How well versed are you in those places there, Sneako?
I want to tell you because you're going to go there, but it changes all over the world.
Oh yeah, you've probably been to more of those places than I have, but okay, Chief.
No, I haven't been to Africa.
Never?
I went to Morocco. Son.
He's going to go to Africa soon.
Oh, okay. Guess that doesn't count as Africa
Sneako,
now.
I feel like you would kind of do much better in these debates, whatever, with Destiny, if you had just like your simple things just ironed out.
Yeah, no, but I didn't. I wanted to hear and talk to you about this word and why you choose to.
He wanted to talk to somebody he thinks is stupid. That's what it comes down to. Which, by the way, I don't think XQC is stupid. Maybe a little bit of a language barrier. But he thinks that XQC is stupid, and he thinks that he can go and talk to XQC and introduce himself to a new audience and be like, maybe people will think Sneako is such a base guy, and blah, 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 blah. That's what he's looking to do. Like, that's what that comes down to. But, of course, Destiny is there, so he has to defeat his nemesis, which he fails to do on a regular basis.
Why you draw the line there? Like, I don't like Destiny comes in here.
I've said it already. I said it already.
Oh, Destiny comes in here. Destiny was in there from the start. This was his conversation with XQC.
It's not some belief.
Am I wrong about that? I'm pretty sure that it was the two of them talking.
Whatever. It's a simple concept that some people feel a certain way in my community, right? And I want them to feel fucking harm and have a bad day because of some random guy that I barely know comes in and is hateful. I'm no, and it's that simple. And that's where I draw my line, bro. It doesn't do it in my book or some shit.
Great. So you draw the line there, and Jacob, I want you to hear this nonsense. Why do you draw the line at but not poor. Because calling people broke.
I don't think that there's anybody that thinks that calling somebody poor and calling somebody the F slur is even close to comparable. I don't like. This is just not like. That's why I won't say you can't call something gay. It's a pejorative and like, yeah, it's not good. But I say things are gay sometimes. It's funny. I just think it's funny. I think it's being stupid. And you know, one day maybe people that won't be as acceptable in the future. I don't really know, right? But like, there's a difference between saying poor and a literal slur. These are just not the same things. They're like, that's why. And even if you disagree, like, that's not a hot take. It's a very basic, boring take. It's incredible that we have to have conversations about like boring, basic things because like you have kids on the internet like Sneako that exist.
That hurts people's feelings. So why is where you draw the line?
Okay. You need to understand it. This is just my worldview, regardless.
Why?
Also, like the word poor isn't an insult. Just to be clear, I don't know if we talked about that. It can be used to be insulting, but like, hey, I'm poor. Like that's not insulting. You don't want to be poor, but that's not the same. You can use it with a little twang on it. You probably shouldn't. But like that's not the same as a literal slur with no other interpretation than trying to be hateful and bigoted. I don't okay. Calling something gay is generally offensive. I think it probably is generally offensive. We just like, you know, now people are like, oh, when something's gay, it's not like gay. It's like stupid gay. Like people will use it like that. Again, it's probably not perfect. You know, I usually say it in jest. I'm so cultured. But my point is like being like saying something is gay, like, oh, something might like legitimately be gay. Like having sex with a dude is gay. That's not insulting, right? Unless I was trying to make it seem insulting, right? So saying something is poor doesn't mean that it's inherently bad. But if you're using it in a bad way, you probably shouldn't use it disrespectfully.
Even it could be fat, it could be ugly, it could be tall, short.
Ugly is not good.
It's just my worldview. It's how I view the world, dude.
Why?
Because I think it's a marginalized group, right? And I've seen like the hurt that people cause each other with that shit, and I don't want to feel that when they watch my stream. I don't want to platform that. It's that simple.
That's fair. Yeah.
I don't want them to be hurt by it, and it stops right there.
All right, Coffee Mouth, that's a good question. Why do you care about the marginalized group of but you don't care about the marginalized group of black people?
See, now you're
Well, why can you only care about one? What?
Now you're using it hatefully because
what?
See, now you're saying F word as
a pejorative, you'd say.
What you saying?
You're just going too far now, Sicko.
No, I didn't mean.
Was he yawning or pretending to be disabled? What the fuck was that?
I didn't mean to cause us whatever. XQC, we understood that. I said we playing COD, whatever. We won't use the word, you know. I just want to make sure we were straight on that. I didn't mean to cause this havoc, you know, whatever.
Yeah, but
hey, well, God bless this Cuffham guy for being a nice guy. It sounds like this Cuffham guy is how I was 10 years ago, and he doesn't mean to be disrespectful, and that's all it took. What a beautiful thing. Sneako, on the other hand, is using this Cuffham guy's, I would say, like, I guess, ignorance in this situation, not hatefulness. He's trying to weaponize that to, like, have a fucking dishonest conversation. That's what it seems like.
So, yeah.
The ball game, though, he literally says it about the F words, like actual. Like, you're just calling them that, and he knows exactly what he's doing by doing that. That's just
okay, fine.
Flat out hateful.
Why gays and not blacks? Why do you care about one?
Gays and blacks? Why are you calling Why are you calling black people blacks? What the fuck? That's usually a pretty disrespectful way to refer to. Okay, incredible.
Marginalized group.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Does XQC use racial slurs about black people? Did I miss this?
He called him a thug.
In response
I mean,
to things he was saying. Also, first, he didn't call him a thug.
yeah, I don't remember what exactly. I don't know what he said. Like, generally speaking, sometimes calling a black person a thug can be like a dog whistle to try to demean black people. But on the other hand, if you're acting like a thug, you know, you're gonna get called a thug. I don't know what he said exactly. I don't know the context specifically, but you know, I just don't use the word thug. I use degenerate or something. I still use the word ghetto because I don't think ghetto is all bad. I like ghetto. I'm from Long Island. There's a lot of ghetto people here. My wife is kind of ghetto. You know what I mean? Maybe not, you know. Well, she is. She's a kind of ghetto. She's got a little twang in her voice. Very intelligent, though. I like ghetto women. I like trashy women. But I like intelligent trash and intelligent ghetto. I think that's very attractive. I don't know what it is. There's something about like a little bit of that vocal fry, a little bit of that, a little bit of that twang, a little bit of that attitude. You know, the attitude. I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? I think it's a beautiful thing. So, yeah, that's it.
But it was in response to things he was saying. It wasn't in response to his skin color.
Okay, so why broke? Why these other? Why say kill cheese or why like saying kill cheese? That's hateful. Saying you want to hurt somebody, murder.
That is a meme that he has seen. His community does that. They say that. It's something that they agree on. And if he was as discomfort with that particular meme or joke, he would have told me so. You understand how that works?
Right, just like how an Aiden community and Cuffham community saying it is a meme as well.
I think there's a general understanding.
You're right, but that it's a slur.
Ending, right? That I thought was ironed out when I said, yo! And a bunch of times I thought they knew that, hey, yo, it's maybe like above and beyond the acceptable line. And usually I think this person doesn't welcome that. Holy it takes some massive logic here, some crazy, oh, you have to be so smart to get that. Like, you're being obtuse. Like, I get it, brother. It is what it is.
Damn, he gave him the obtuse. It's very learned of you, XQC. You're being obtuse right now. Certainly not being acute, Sneako. Okay? It's not very cute.
I'm being obtuse. I was just I've never heard somebody use that word. I'm just asking you why.
Yes, you are being deliberately obtuse. It means that.
Damn, got him.
Being obtuse. Like, maybe I could consider that an insult. Why is it just that word? I'm actually curious. I'm not trying to be obtuse.
It's the line that
I'm not trying to be obtuse. Obtuse.
It's the line that I draw, right? The same way, right?
And you're not answering the question. Why? Why are you drawing a line around?
I told.
It's a slur. Okay.
Told you already. Marginalized group that I care about, and I don't want them to sit down and watch my stream and be hurt by it. That's it. Nothing else.
So why just that marginalized group?
And
it's not just that marginalized group. You shouldn't say slurs from any group. Like,
and also races, and I try my best with like religion and other shit. I try.
I would do more with disabilities, guys. Stop using the R slur, okay? That's my big thing.
My world that I chose, what I don't line. You don't have to agree with it, right? You don't have to. It's not up to a debate. Like, nothing you can say will say, oh yeah, then you know what? You're right. Guys, say the F word. I'm not gonna do that. Like, it's not gonna. Who's trying to convince here, brother? Because of your book? Because of your book? I don't read books.
I love XQC, dude.
Like, what the
I don't read books.
Yeah,
Fucking
no. I get what you're saying on your community. XQC.
I don't read books, dude. What an alpha male. I don't read books.
See, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that was the main point, was what happened in the car lobby. I understand you said you don't want that word to be heard around your community, so I understand that, you know what I'm saying? I respect that, and that's just what it is, bro.
It's funny because, like, XQC doesn't even think other people should, like, he probably thinks other people should hold to his morals, but he's not like, oh, if you don't, you're a bad person. Like, the same thing with me. If I hear people using, like, the R slur in public, I consider this, like, a public space. Like, when I see Destiny or ABBA or whatever, it does bother me. You know, I don't think that they're bad people, though. I understand being a little too edgy, gooning too close to the sun a little with that one. So, but I would like to, so I get that. You don't have to hold everybody perfectly, because I understand that debate's still out for people with the R slur. I get it. I understand that debate's still out. Like, I'm always down to chat about it, but what a weird conversation to have. But like when it comes to like slurs, like other slurs, like we're all set on the N word, the F slur, the slurs when it comes to Asian people, slurs when it comes to Hispanic people. We're all racial slurs. You know, we're all set on those being bad. So, you know, like, yeah, don't use those.
Well, I respect that, and that actually means a lot more than you think, man.
Beautiful
stuff.
So
we gotta go understand it, because I like playing COD lobbies. We got like a little COD lobby going on me, train, your friends, my friends, it's fire. You know, I want to end it. So.
I appreciate that. So it sounds like XQC is a little edgy gamer playing with other edgy gamers, and he's just like, hey, if you're playing with me, you can't use these words. And if you want to keep using them, that's fine. You just can't play with me. And the guy's like, okay, I like playing with you. I value our time together and the smooches that we have. So you know what? I'm going to use that word less. And I think that's the way to start it. That's the way you start that conversation. Is that, yeah, you can't do that with me. And then that slowly changes the world, babies, brothers.
You know what I'm saying? We straight.
Fat W. I don't want to get sour when you.
It's so interesting because, like, with all the over intellectualization of this, it really boils down to like what is and isn't respectful. Are you being respectful or are you not being respectful? That's really where it boils down to more than anything else. And like clearly, Sneako is trying to be a disrespectful person, and this other guy doesn't seem to be a disrespectful person. And I think that if everybody operated with respect, number one, I think that is, like I said, a beautiful thing.
you past that point because Sneako was here and muddying the waters with his dumb narrative. The brother cannot have two brain cells rub together to get a fucking full sentence or cohesive thought. Dumb.
Damn, he's really going in on him.
Yeah,
Well, me?
Bro, he's like my brother Sneako is his brain is sparking, trying to come up with like a reasonable. Like,
it's sparking because I can't hear if you're saying tug or thug. I can't even understand what's going on.
Oh my god!
Bro, you can't even tell us that you shouldn't sleep with kids. I don't think that there's really a point listening to Sneako anymore. So
Here comes.
You stumble and mumble over your words. It's hard to comprehend.
he does absolutely. Okay, that's it. That's all you got.
No, genuinely, like it's
You
fucking,
win.
like, what
You
did
have
say?
one. You have won the debate because you failed to understand a word. You absolutely understand what I'm saying. That's your win.
No,
That's
basically,
God,
if you were
you
consistent
go,
about this,
Sneako. Way to go.
If you were consistent about this, then you would say that it's okay to fuck kids.
About marginalized group, then you wouldn't have somebody in here who's saying things like anti-Islam, somebody who's a public Zionist. You wouldn't have.
What, Destiny? Well, I mean, I think he criticizes the people that are hateful in Islam. Oh shit, my balls!
Them in the stream because think about the Palestinians, for example, that feel marginalized by this. The thing is, the whole point I came in here to just tell you.
How am I supposed to know that?
You
How am I supposed to know that?
I mean, what slurs does Destiny use? I'm not understanding.
So you know more about faggots, but you don't know what's
Oh, they forgot to censor that one, boy.
happening like around the world.
Don't worry,
Okay,
Sneako has
okay.
no idea what's happening around the world either. You're in the same boat there.
Listen. How the fuck are you gonna lecture me about what's going on with other religion?
I'm not lecturing.
And Israel
I'm
and
not
whatever.
lecturing you.
Well, you don't even know about the one book
You're
that
the
you
one.
love so much. It's like you say, "Oh, dude, what is it? These 10 books?" I'm like, "Dude, what is that one book? It's the one that you really love, and you don't know about it."
No,
Yeah, the guy who doesn't read books. I'm supposed to be the master of all books. Like me.
I don't know. What are you talking about? First off,
He's talking about the fact that you don't. What the fuck? I'm aiming at. Okay.
I answered every question.
Why do you want
about
me to be the master of books? I don't read books.
What are you
But at least
talking
it's better than you. You don't even know how to. You don't even know your one book you love.
I answered every question about the Quran. I do know
No,
my
you did
book.
not.
What did I answer? What did I not answer?
Oh
about the book?
my god.
What did I not answer?
Bro, any of the questions that were asked, the age of consent, where you draw that morality?
Yeah, that's the age of consent isn't in the Quran.
What?
No, okay. So I guess you can fuck kids according to the Quran. I guess Sneako thinks that's an own.
You heard exactly what I just said.
And do you think that's a good thing? You think that's a good way to navigate the world?
You're moving it again. So you said I didn't know anything about it. I said I did, right? My whole point of saying this is that you draw the line around the word "f***it," not because it's like anything to do with morality, not because.
Well, no, it obviously has to do with his morality 100%. I don't know what. You decided it doesn't because it doesn't fit your argument. He wants to be respectful to people. That's literally his entire moral code when it comes to this.
You care about marginalized groups because this is a lie from the blue-haired people. Is that they care. So let me explain.
It's a lie from the blue-haired people. Let me explain. They pretend to care about things. The only way that the pretending to care about things works is if other people actually do care. So
care so much and you want to have an inclusive place for all this. It's because if you were going to be
man, I think that's reasonable for people to be like, hey, I'd like to be able to be included. You ever played kickball before? It's cool when people get to play when everybody gets to play. It's really all and listen. Do I think it goes too far sometimes? Sure, absolutely. But at the end of the day, people are like, yeah, I'd like to be included in things because it would feel good, and you're like, oh. Wow, incredible. That's what a hot take. I don't really know what to say. Seems like a very basic take, Doesn't seem particularly, crazy.
If you were going to be consistent with your inclusivity, then you would not have these people in here who are public Zionists, who are here supporting
But
genocide.
I don't know that about them because
It doesn't.
I mean, it's I've seen Destiny make too many edgy jokes when it comes to some of this stuff. Absolutely. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes he gets a little, crazy. But at the end of the day, I don't know that Destiny's like a fucking. I don't think he's a Zionist. I think that he just generally supports Israel. I mean, he said that he wants a 2-state solution. So I don't really know. But okay. It's so funny because listen, I feel bad for people in Palestine, but it's so funny because it's a very liberal talking point of virtue signaling about Israel Palestine. It's just interesting.
This isn't even a good question. If you care about being inclusive, shouldn't you want to be inclusive to all types of people? If that, using that logic, we should be inclusive to child rapists and pedophiles. Doesn't make
Sneako is, so his logic is sound.
any sense. This is a stupid fucking point. The idea is that there are certain characteristics that probably shouldn't be seen as bad. XQC obviously doesn't think that being gay is a bad thing, so he doesn't want insults that make it seem like being gay is a bad thing.
Him saying you bring it up murderers and child rapists, that actually harms people. Saying the word faggot doesn't harm anybody.
There is a
yeah, it makes people feel bad. It can be very harmful. People use slurs in order to justify and normalize the dehumanization of other people, and once you dehumanize a particular group, it's easy for you to target them. It's not an intelligent talking point. This isn't exactly the hottest takes of the century that I'm having here. These are very normal. So when you're sitting here and you're dehumanizing gay people by calling them fucking slurs, yeah, Like, that's not a good thing. What the fuck?
Say harm there. I'm sorry, wait, you don't think there's harm in language?
Absolutely not.
Oh, really? Do you think there's harm in drawing pictures of people?
Absolutely not.
Oh, so then people should be able to draw pictures of Muhammad?
No, absolutely. You shouldn't be able to. It's not.
So I'm so sorry. That was just such a dumb thing, but it was so funny. It was just such like an obvious like trap. It's like so silly. I just think that's just funny. I'm sorry. Okay, great.
Harm is something wrong.
Wait, okay, what do you call something that's wrong? Hold on, what do you call something that's wrong towards a group of people? What's another word for that, Sneako?
That's wrong towards. You're equating harm to something that's theological. Like ideas and words, they don't actually harm you.
They can, absolutely. You know what's interesting about ideas and words? That's what laws are. Ideas and words do harm people. What are you talking about? This is an idiot moron. You're literally talking about how Zionism is bad. That's an idea, and those are words. People use actions to help justify some of this behavior, but these are ideas and these are words, right? And the people will commit actions. If you can dehumanize a group of people, okay, and the way that you can dehumanize them is by, using slurs against them, then it's easier for you to commit actions against them.
Harming is something that's physical.
Oh, so okay. Then what's
if you're gonna have free speech and you're gonna have talk about marginalized, be consistent with who you marginalize and be consistent with. It's either you allow free speech and you allow insults to broke people, to thugs, to all these people, or you don't.
No,
that's just a dumb thing to say. Like, free speech is cool and all, but like freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of consequences. So
nobody. What are you taught? You absolutely can pick and choose groups that you think are important and groups that you don't think are important. Welcome to all of society. What are you talking about?
If you're online, so if you think that it should start and stop at this word, then you should be consistent with it. Because
start and stop? What are you talking about? It's a slur.
He is consistent. The idea is you shouldn't make fun of people for their sexuality, for their race.
Generally, like some kind of an immutable characteristic, right?
Probably for their religion is one of the things you brought up. You can have these groups. That doesn't mean you have to protect every single possible marginalized thing. You just have categories that you care about protecting.
We all know this. He would not have left the call if he made fun of a different race or a different religion. He left the call specifically.
Oh, wait.
What are you talking about? I almost guarantee you that XQC wouldn't be chill with talking like saying like the ends like fucking slurs. What are you talking about?
Talking about gay people.
If they use the N-word in that way, I would absolutely let the call. What?
They say the N-word all the time.
They're black, so if they say the N-word with an A on it, who cares? Like, obviously that's not the same thing.
Like, it's a slur.
Oh my goodness, you're so. Why are you so obtuse? What do you gain by doing that? Have better arguments and better point of contention when you battle somebody or have some debate. Why don't we just have a better?
I don't think it's the same with. And again, I probably wouldn't stream with I don't know if I would necessarily stream with black people saying the N-word, right? Like, even if it's, I generally just try to stay away from that kind of stuff, right? But I don't think that XQC is gonna care. I mean, I just wouldn't stream with black people in general because I'm like racist. But I'm just kidding. But like, I think there's a pretty big difference between being a black person using the N-word with a soft A versus being like a white person saying it hatefully, or even a black person saying it. Like at Fresh and Fit when they were calling Abba and preach that.
Better angle to hold instead of, oh, dude, but what about this? What about this? I don't get this.
Right.
Okay, so you're better than this.
They say slurs all the time. They say racial slurs all the time in the streaming community.
It's not how I've known a lot of times.
He's not talking about them in general. He's talking about them specifically when talking to him. What is he talking about?
When they use some words, it's just not, and it's when they use it that way that I don't like it.
Which way?
When they use it in a hateful way.
He's not even saying he dislikes this person, crush him or whatever, what the fuck his name was, because he uses bad words. He's saying he doesn't want to play with him if he's going to use them in his stream.
That's what a slur is.
Exactly.
Okay, so do you think that Cuffham do you think he was being hateful?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the idea behind it at the time.
Okay. I don't know the context of that specifically.
That's the lie. See, and that's the lie. So
that's a line. That's a line. No,
that's a lie. Open up your ears a little bit. It's not the line. It's the lie. See, you don't actually care. If the cameras are off and the streamers off, and even Destiny know this, and we said chink and all these words.
Oh my God, he's just sitting here saying as many slurs as possible, brother. Slur speedrun from Sneako. Incredible.
No one would care.
It depends.
That's not well. So there are two things. One, people would care. I still wouldn't want to be around that. Two, there is a difference between using like these slurs in front of an entire audience of people versus like just your personal. If I'm just by myself, or if you're just with like a couple of friends and you're saying whatever the R slur I'll use, then like, okay, whatever. But like when you're in public, you probably shouldn't use these things because somebody with like an intellectual developmental disability or something could be that they could feel like that's offensive to them. It's just being more sensitive to people around you. Again, you shouldn't be doing it privately, but I'm more concerned with publicly. So
Depends on what you're talking about. It depends on who you're with.
Public, and it's for perceptions. If the camera's off, no one cares. We're
If
all
the-
lying.
okay,
If the
You're
camera's
lying to
hold
go-
on, if the camera's off, it's a different environment. It's a different setting. If you're racist, which at this point you probably are, you can be racist around one person. That's a different thing than showcasing that racism or bigotry or hatred towards an entire fucking audience. That's
yeah, sure.
so fucking retarded. That's like saying like,
Hey, stop it.
wow, like you'll be naked in the shower, but you won't run around outside naked. So the only difference is you're performing for an audience. What a fucking retarded thing to say. No,
Hey,
of course there's a difference between saying something privately with somebody versus being on stream in front of 100,000 people.
Absolutely not. See, if it
You're
happened,
actually fucking retarded. I got it. XQC, I've got to go because I'm going to kill myself if I say in here and listen to this retarded anymore. Good luck.
Hey, stop, dude. Stop, dude. I will say, it is a little hypocritical to use that R slur so much when defending other things.
Holy shit. Okay, I'm gonna go set up for my Bridger shit. Oh my god. Holy f. He's like the most NPC bot person in the fucking world. Kill me. Okay, I'm gonna go set up for my Bridger shit. I'm gonna talk to my good friend Richard Lewis. Go have fun with Sneako and XQC and go to his stream and have fun. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. How can you must be so embarrassed if you're like Muslim and this guy's your fucking representative out here? Kill me. What does Islam have to do with politics, bro? These are he can't even answer exactly where his morality comes from, and he can't give me the entire meta-normative and applied ethical position. Age of consent? Kill. Kill me, bro. My God. Okay, I love you guys. I'll be in Bridges in a bit.
Wow, I love the end of that. Incredible. Well, yeah, man. I mean, it's always fun to check out Sneako. You always know you're gonna get like a dumpster fire fucking take. So incredible stuff, man. That's all I gotta say. He's a literal trash loser person. So.